Graybeard Gaming. Welcome to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and consoles are a scam. As always, I have with me Liam and David, and this week we're going to talk about PSN going down, Horizon. I always say Horizon. Why don't they just call it Horizon?
Horizon.
That would really help me out. Anyway, Forza Horizon 5 goes to PlayStation, and we ask questions: are studios shrinking? As always, we like to catch up with what we've been playing this week. So this week we're going to start with Hacker Man over there, David.
Been hacking the system, dude. Yeah, I've actually gotten back into Enshrouded.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, and I had to start a new game because I'd just been so out of the loop for it that when I loaded up my regular game, I have like a million items and I don't know what any of them do. And
Yeah.
I just don't know I have no idea what to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start from scratch. And I'm pleased to find out that there's a lot of really cool updates to the game. The very first thing I did was carve a hole into a mountain and make a hobbit house.
Ooh.
It was so much fun. Gina walked in and saw me playing it. She was like, that looks awesome. I'm like, it's cool. It's very homey. I feel like I have like my own hobbit house, And then, she, I don't know, I could not convince her to play it with me. So she really wanted to play Ark. And that took like 6 hours to jump onto that game because, Xbox servers don't show up in the same list as the PC servers. And I really just didn't want to go in my living room and they should. It's a cross-platform game, but it just didn't show up in the servers. So I'm like, I don't want to go in there and play Xbox. I want to play this game on my PC. So we just decided to join an old server that we used to play called The Hive. It's kind of a big server, a lot of people on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we jumped on it, and it just, Ark is like so many gigs. It's like 300 gigs, 400 gigs.
Yeah, it is insanely big.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then we got on the server. It was really kind of glitchy, but, we powered through. We got a couple of dinos. We were wandering around, got killed a couple of times by some raptors, I had a good time. She felt like she wasted the night because it was just so much, I don't know. There are some games you just turn on and you play. And that's not one of them. It's like,
Right.
It's like a process to like play.
It's like you had to schedule it.
Yeah.
Take time off.
When the challenge is actually making it work, like trying to get on it.
Yeah.
Set it up.
Like, oh man, it's just so much effort just to play it. Yeah, so that's pretty much the extent of it, really. But
Now,
I'm trying to get back into it.
Enshrouded did just have an update, I think, right at the beginning of the month.
And then I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I like to go on the forums on Facebook and Reddit, and I saw somebody commented and said there are servers that people finish the game on Enshrouded, and then they leave the server open, like the game open, and you could just go in and join and just take whatever you want, whatever items you want, whatever they acquired. Doesn't matter. They beat the game, right? So I thought that was really nice. So I actually typed in a server, and I found one server,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy said it just says free items, and it is not like I beat the game and you could just have whatever you want. It is not that. It is, I have created a world of like IKEA, and it's in Enshrouded. Like he created a store that you walk around. It's furniture. There's literally like it's IKEA. It's like every piece of furniture in the game displayed, right? Like all the chairs and the tables with all that kind. And then right underneath that is a chest with all of those items have at it.
And
Take
instructions that don't make any sense.
Anything you want. They have he has one level, and it's just pets and animals that you can
Oh my God! You have got to give me that server. Yeah,
dude. And then the second level is all the weapons And there's in Enshrouded, they made it so that the characters that are in the game, the NPCs
Right.
that are in the game, they walk around. You can assign a bed for them, and now they'll sleep in that bed. Trying to make it more like towny.
Right.
And those people are in that guy's server, just walking around, talking. Hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya, traveler? How are ya? So you're like, hey, this is freaking cool, and you can get any kind of sword you want. And then the next level is, like I said, the IKEA level, where it's like you walking through this path, and there's furniture, there's candles, and just whatever is in the game is there. And I'm just like, oh
Wow,
my
that is
God.
amazing.
I'm like, this is amazing. This is like whoever did. I typed in like, whoever did this, I love you. And
That is
they were
really
like, you
cool.
go on his Discord and thank him. And I'm very sorry I did not go on your Discord and thank you. Um, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. It was something Wolf, like
Uh-huh.
Wolfen. But whoever did that, Wolfen guy, thank you. I love you. That was great. I didn't roll up in there and take everything because I didn't want to ruin the game for me. If I just took everything, you know, it would just ruin the game for me. So I took some cool armor that I thought was cool. I took a sword, and I took in the game you have a flame that you have to upgrade. The more you upgrade it, the
Right.
more space you have to build.
Yeah.
And I had very little space to build, so I just took some stuff to upgrade that. That's it. I took a couple of furniture pieces, but nothing serious, and then I just left. But and there's people walking around taking stuff. It's just really,
Shopping.
really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, just shopping,
That
so
that
it's
is
definitely he built it in the sky. Like it's like hovering in the air of Enshrouded. I guess he put it on
wow.
creative mode or something. I don't really know. I
Yeah.
don't even know I didn't even know if there was a creative mode.
There
But
isn't.
right,
That's not per se. So
right.
my wife Valheim Gal on Twitch loves to build in Valheim and stuff. And so she's been trying to find a way to do that in Shrouded because it's much more detailed.
Yes.
And the things that you can build are I guess just more elaborate. It's just a different game per se.
Yeah.
But we were trying to get on we were trying to download someone's save file and put it in her game. And it's kind of like that. Somebody had finished the game. It's like, here's my save file. And you take it and you basically take that world and put it in your game, and then you have
Yeah.
everything. And we just couldn't get it to work. This sounds way better because once you
It
get it,
is.
it's like, most of these survival games, once you pick something up, it's like you have it, right? It's like, oh, you can make that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like it's the same as Valheim. As long as it's on your character, and you go to and hop onto another server, like whatever was in your inventory,
hmm
you have it now. So, but one thing that's really cool, and you might tell tell the Val gal
yeah.
if she's interested. This is a really cool feature that they added, and I don't know if it's new or old, but um, when I started digging out that cave to build that little hobbit house.
Yeah.
And I was digging and digging. I was like, this is getting kind of boring. And I noticed that they have like a rock item that you can drop in. As long as you have stone in your inventory, you
Right.
can put this little rock, and you could create your own mountain essentially. Rock here, rock here, rock here, rock here, and then next thing you know, you have like this big tower, and you could put a mountain wherever you feel like putting.
Right.
But if you hit the right click on the mouse, you can remove rock. So I would put the rock floating
Yeah.
wherever I want to put it. I would put it in the mountain, hit remove, and boom, it would remove a chunk of the
Oh,
mountain.
wow. So you don't
So now
actually
I
have
don't
to
have to dig.
dig.
I don't have to dig anything. I'm just removing, 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 and it within like 3 minutes, I had this massive hole in this mountain, and they have round doors like Hobbit
hmm
doors. I put a round door right in there, and I carved out rooms inside the mountain. And man, it's just such a wholesome game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a wholesome experience, just so much fun. So that might be a really cool feature that she might get into.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think she'd actually like that. It's good to see these games that come out that I see so many that are like, they promise so much. It's like, here, it's early access and this, and then 4 years later, it's like there hasn't been an update, And actually, Steam is now starting to tag those games. So if you have not had an update, I think in like 6 months, it'll say that in the description. Yeah. It's like, hey, be warned, this game has not been updated in 6 months. So you can kind of, even though it may have good reviews, it could be a dead game. They could have just dropped it, or the studio may not be there anymore. But yeah, I'm glad to see that this is getting some updates, and I might have to jump back into that. If I can get the IKEA server, then that'll make it even more fun.
Let me know when you guys want to jump on. I'll jump on with you guys.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Liam. I hope I'm feeling better. Last week we were extremely sick. Last week, David, you weren't here. It was just like, yeah, man, it's like games. I love games, man. It's like it was terrible. But I'm feeling much better. I hope, Liam, you look better. I hope you're feeling better.
I am feeling a lot better. I just got a bit of a cough left, but yeah, much better than I was.
You're not feeling better, liar.
I feel a lot better.
I've been playing a bit of Call of Duty. I managed to finish that Zombies Easter egg.
The new one?
That was really good. Yeah, because you get it with a full team, know what they're doing, and it actually gets really easy. As long as everyone knows what they're doing and knows how to do it.
Well, that's always a plus.
These special, the special wonder weapons. You get 2 ice stuffs, so people are using that, and it's just about like crowd control, really, of what you're doing and doing the different objectives. So once everyone actually knows like on the same page, it's easy, really.
How long does it take to do this one?
We did it about an hour.
Really?
And that was us also messing about. So
wow,
it happened really fast. Normally it takes about 2 hours when I do some of these things, because we try to get the right setup. But it worked quite well with what we did. So yeah, we knocked that out pretty fast, surprisingly.
Nice.
So yeah, that's all the Easter egg done for me on the maps until the next map comes out, which is probably like 2 months time.
Yeah.
I hear there's gonna be like an extra map as well. So we're expecting 6 maps for like the COD cycle, but there might be 7, because they've been pumping these maps out fast, a lot faster than we thought they would. So there might be some extra stuff in this COD game before the next one comes on along.
I don't know why they wouldn't. It seems to be. I mean, it's missing some stuff. Like the last one we had ground control. We had was it? I keep forgetting the name of it, like Big Team Battle. We also had zombies. It just seemed like it had more to it. It didn't really have that much of a single player campaign, nor did it have many maps when it came out. But Black Ops 6 seems to be missing some of those gameplay modes.
Yeah,
which is not it's not a complaint per se, but if they can pump more into like the multiplayer and the zombies, then I don't see a problem.
I know the zombies are going hard right now. I don't know what they're doing with multiplayer, because they have to update Warzone as well. So the next Warzone map's going to come out soon. So I couldn't tell you much about multiplayer because I suck at that.
Well, are any of us playing Warzone?
I haven't played Warzone, to be honest, since like I don't know when.
I wonder what the state is. I haven't played it in probably 2 years.
Yeah. So there'll be a new map, I think. Maybe like this season or next season. So it's gonna be soon. I know that.
So that'll be into April, 1st of March, 1st of May, something like that.
So I'll have to check when that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing a bit of that and just see other games I have to sort of finish. When you finish a game, I like cleaning up achievements. So like seeing what I can do. And then and some dogs.
Yeah, you can't hear that, can you?
Yeah,
I might have to mute myself. That's
And
George.
yeah, this week I'm excited to play Avowed because I got the early upgrade, so I'll be
Oh,
playing on
really?
the
Well, I can't. I
It was only
did
like
the same with
£15.
Indiana
I was like,
Jones.
hmm.
How much is it
So
to play early?
well, for me it was like £15, so it's probably like
That's
$20
it?
over there.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much else to it. There's no like DLC. You get a story,
Yeah.
a storyboard, digital book, and soundtrack, and early access. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And probably like a skin. So it wasn't that much to upgrade. I was like, for 5 days, I could beat it. I could beat it in 5 days maybe.
Ooh,
So
I don't know.
I got that, and I'm looking forward to it honestly because the whole choice aspect sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just had a dog. He almost jumped in my lap. So, well, I mean, I can't say anything about that. I did the same thing with Indiana Jones, but it was not $20. It was. I think it was like $25.
Yeah, it's a bit more because there is a DLC coming out for Indiana Jones at some point as well.
Well, there was one that you get like an extra mission, which I don't even know which one it was. I mean, obviously, if you don't, if it's just in the game, you don't know which one it is. But I think I got the Temple of Doom like costume.
Yeah, you get the Temple of Doom outfit.
So I walked around with like one sleeve. But yeah, it I hate to say it. I hate it when publishers do this. I mean, it's like, why not just make it that's the day that it comes out and be nice to people instead of pushing that, but I actually thought it may have been worth it with Indiana Jones, but I can't say that with every game. So hopefully you didn't, waste your extra money.
I hope not. And still waiting for the preload for it. It's not preloaded yet. But
and
they
that
have
is,
said it's about 75 gig for the game. So.
Okay. What and when is early access?
The 13th.
So Thursday.
It's a few days.
Yeah.
Days, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, you'll be able to let us know how it is.
Yeah.
Let us know how it is on the next episode of Favorite Gaming Podcast.
Looking forward to it because this will be like Xbox big sort of start. I did see like people are gonna put their reviews out on Thursday as well. That's when the big reviews.
Well, they should.
For it.
Right? Yeah, they should.
Obviously with early access, so but people seem to be positive about it so far. We'll see.
Well, I like who though?
Well, anyone who's got an Xbox early access code, from reviews. Of course, they'll probably be happy because they got it early.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to discern, who's like really talking about the game and who's like just going, "Oh, I'm paid to say this," just like Assassin's Creed was, or what was it? No, Dragon Age: The Veilguard was back to form. Everybody said, "Oh, it's back. They're back to form. It's a back to form." It's like that one comment was like in every preview and every review, and it's like, come on, man, you guys are just working off a script. So I'm gonna wait till it comes out. That's fine. I was being, very, I don't know really what the word would be, but I wasn't gonna give them any money because of the art director's, tomfoolery and obvious racism. But I mean, it is free. So if it's good, I will try it, and hopefully maybe that will, kind of that will be the apology, is having a game that does not have modern, tropes in it in a fantasy world that's far, far away. But we will see.
Now this is the game that is kind of like Skyrim.
Kind of. I mean,
like Skyrim.
I think anybody. Like, if you see a first-person role-playing game, I think everybody just assumes it's another Skyrim.
Yeah, everyone just goes Skyrim.
So it's kind of hard to say. This is like more like, I think it's set up more like Outer Worlds, where you have like a hub, and then you go out to other places. Not completely open world.
Yeah, they did say it's not open world, but like levels, you know,
Right,
hubs
it's
and
like it's
different
areas. Yeah, you go in these large areas and do stuff. I am
which
super
I
okay
don't
with
mind.
that.
Yeah, I don't mind that because I don't want 200 hours just wandering around at the same
No, and
time.
and this is the Unreal Engine 5, Unreal Engine 5.5, I think, the latest version, and
Yeah, which managed to get to 60 FPS on the Series X. So
Yep.
hopefully that engine is improving.
yeah, when they delayed it, I think I called it. I think I said that just
yeah.
expect that delay is going to be a 60 FPS boost, and they're pumping it, but it's probably attributed to them not being an open world game. There's a lot of developers now that are going, hey, yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is great, but it sucks for open world games. So it's probably just needs to bake a couple of years. So that might be why we're not getting that open world game. I don't know. So anyway, so you'll let us know. Let us know how it is over next Monday when we record, because it comes out on a Tuesday.
Yep.
Yep. Like officially, like if you don't want to pay extra money.
Officially, yeah.
Right. God, man, this is just
I do find it odd. I understand like the incentive of pre-orders having early access, obviously, because you know they want that early money, and it's sort of rewarding, you know, players pre-purchasing it. But it's getting a bit ridiculous to a point where it's like, before it was 3 days, now it's 5 days. It's going to be a week, 2 weeks, a month. Like, what's the cutoff limit going to be in the end? Like, I think it should be stuck to 3 days.
Yeah.
At most. Like, 5 is pushing it.
Well,
are we going to have 2 weeks early access in about 5 years' time?
They purposefully, and you know, Space Marines did this. Space Marines 2 did this. It's like, oh, you could play it on Friday, you know, all weekend if you want to, or you can wait till Monday.
That's a sort of good marketing tactic, because people are like, I want to play it the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're doing the same thing with this.
Yeah.
So I get that, but it's just, man, it's just like, how bad do you want this piece of candy? You know?
Yeah.
Like you could play it on Monday, but if you've got money, play it on Friday. If you're from an affluent family,
Right,
play it on
right.
Tuesday.
To me, it feels more like, it's like, sure, come on by. You want to audition? I've got a couch. If you want, you know, we could sit comfortably while you audition for this movie. Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm serious.
The VIP entrance is over here.
Right. That's your office. Well, okay, let's get away from that. So yeah, it's slimy. We know it, but sometimes we do it, and you know, I don't throw shade at anybody that does it, because I did it with Indiana Jones, and because I was like, I really want to play this before we record the show. Not knowing it was going to be so good. So that was a pleasant surprise. And of course, Space Marines 2, I knew was going to be good. So this I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm
a guinea pig in this one, so I'll say what it's like next week.
yeah, you'll give us the full Monty
rundown.
So, okay. So I just recently got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And I waited till this game came out, like a good boy, to see the reviews and see from people that are not of the media, you know, and I wanted to see kind of what the discussion was, because the creative director of the studio, the guy that heads the studio and the game, has kind of just goes out and attacks people on Twitter that are talking about the game and talking about stuff, and which, you know, don't do that. Just, you know, somebody's got to be the adult here. But he had reason to do that, because there was it leaked that there was an option in the game to, you know, there was a gay scene in the game, and everybody just went, you know, lights went up and searchlights, and there's like a bat signal, and I'm like, come on, guys, how long have you been playing RPGs? Like, that's been in RPGs for ever. So But the game itself, I was kind of concerned that it was just going to be the first one all over again. I did not finish the first one. I did buy it recently. I played a good bit of it. I enjoyed it, but it didn't have as good a hook. It's a little bit of a jank, to it. Since it's their first game and everything, kind of give them a little bit of slack. This one, they know exactly what they are doing. The beginning of this game is absolutely incredible, and it's got that hook where it opens, and it opens with the main character and his friend, and they're of course bickering back and forth and talking about stuff. And through these conversations and through this little prologue, you can learn about the main character and his friend and what's going on and where they are and what's going on in this period in Bohemia, which is now Prague, and it's really good, man. The setup is really good. You're kind of just, the tutorial is practical. You're doing stuff as you do it. It shows you how to do things, and the situations that you go through for this tutorial make sense, and it's fun, and it's not just like, you walk up to a log, press C for crouch to go under, nothing like that. I mean, it doesn't insult your intelligence.
Story?
It is, absolutely.
Tutorial?
Yeah. You start off, you're this is the second game, so you're not like, you're not just like a total dumbass like in the first one. But you do get to a point where you're having to, of course, kind of reboot your character. You lose everything and have to kind of get back in graces, and but it's done with humility and humor, and the interactions between you and your friend are very realistic, and they even did some videos of like introducing this game with these two guys that play these characters. And if you go to their YouTube page, you can watch it, and they travel to these locations in Prague where this happened, and talk to people and go through, look at like historical places and stuff. It's really cool. Anyway, back to the game. It's a lot of fun. When you get to a point where you like have to eat, you find food, you cook it, or you prepare it, or you find somebody cooking food and you just, eat their food. Making a potion, you actually are making the potion. You take the ingredients, you put them in a pestle and mortar, you heat water to a certain degree, you put stuff in it for a certain time, like with an hourglass, and then you take it off the heat, then you add other stuff, and then, boom, you just made a potion. It's not like click your ingredients and then click craft. I mean, you're actually like doing the stuff in the game. So it's almost like a medieval simulation more than a role-playing game. But the story is really good, and the story pushes you forward, and the decisions you make right off the bat are already kind of forming your character. So you don't really start off with, here's your character Henry, pick your stats. It asks you as you go how you want to play the game, and by that you're basically picking what class you are and what you want to do with the with the character. But even like your own self, there's a situation where you have to go talk to someone and they're like, God, what the fuck is that smell? Like, what the hell? And they both like look over at you and you're like, hi. You got like shit all over you. And so you have to like clean yourself up or these people won't talk to you. And also if you go too long and you don't bathe or you don't do anything, then trying to sneak up on people, they'll smell you before you get like, what the hell is that? Hey. So there's like a lot of things that you think of, like, oh, maybe I should like go take a bath and get some new clothes before I go to this, this thing that has these important people. And so it has that extra layer of realism that they don't make it feel like it's a chore to do these things. It's more of immersion. I find it a lot like Red Dead Redemption 2. Like you would hunt, you would skin the deer, like actually skin it. You'd take meat off of it. and then you'd make a fire, and then you'd put it on your
Yeah.
knife, and you'd actually cook it. You know, those things that didn't have to be there. They could have just been a button push, but they added those layers to it to be more immersive in this world and bring you further into it. Now, I am not far in this game at all. As a matter of fact, it's got those really cool, like after the prologue and you get to a certain point and the music starts rolling and swelling, and then it's like, then the credits come up and it's like, this is the game, this is who's in it, and you know, very cinematic. I really, the older I get, the more I don't want to jump into these 100-hour long RPGs with a lot of exposition and a lot. But I was playing it for about 2 hours and I realized that I was doing one thing. Like I was going to go do one thing. And I kept thinking, if this was an Ubisoft game or if this was an EA game, I would already have like 14 things I'm supposed to be doing. And it would just be piling on top of me constantly.
Yeah.
Mm.
The pacing
Or
for
the
this,
map will be like...
right, it starts going...
everywhere.
Right. The pacing is really good, and it pushes the story along, but not in a way where it's like they don't fear you get bored. There's always something to do, whether it's telling you to or not. There's stuff you could be doing. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this game. And the map, I always talk about maps in games. I love maps, like in general. I just love maps. The first game, I don't know if I mentioned this last time I was talking about it, but the map in the game looks like a medieval painting. Like your character is like hand-drawn, and the scenery and everything that's top-down looks like it would be a mural, like on a map. You ever played Elden Ring? You know, the map in Elden Ring looks like it's hand-painted, like you just rolled it out, like an ancient map.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but in a way that it fits that world and that time frame. It's really cool. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. Yeah. But
How's it running on your PC?
Fantastic. This thing runs like butter. It runs like butter. It has no ray tracing, no path tracing, no frame generation. It has DLSS, and that's it. And everything's set to ultra, and I'm getting like 120 frames per second at 1440p. And it doesn't miss a beat. There's no traversal stutter like on Unreal. The characters, for the most part, look really good. The just the scenery and everything, the level of detail, like when you walk up to all the way up to something, the detail is retained. You don't have that pop in, like anywhere. And this is using the Crytek engine, and I'm sold on this engine. I think maybe people should, look at this as an alternative as far as the Unreal Engine.
There hasn't been many Crytek games, have there?
Not lately. I can't tell you the last game I played that was a Crytek engine. The Far Cry games used to be Crytek, but now I think they're on their Ubisoft has their own engine for Far Cry now. I forget what it's called. DNA or something like that. But this thing is a lot of fun. And I almost finished Dying Light 2. I picked that up again, and I've been having fun with that on PC. They fixed a lot of stuff in it since I played it last. A lot less jank, and it too is well paced and a lot of fun stuff to do. I don't get bored with that game. So that is what I've been playing.
I did want to play Sims 1 and 2. So they came out on Steam. They did a re-release.
Yeah, I saw that, like it's Sims Collection or something like that, or Legacy or something.
And from what I've seen of it, it's pretty crap.
Yeah, they didn't.
Why do EA just miss the mark on an easy target? When I first heard the rumors of it, it's like, oh, Sims 1, 2, and 3 is like a remaster pack. No, it's just 1 and 2 ported with bugs. But they're like 20 years old. How can you mess that up?
Yeah, I heard that a lot of people are having trouble just running it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had a gold mine. Yeah, absolute gold mine there.
I know, right?
No, you can't do it.
Oh no, they still got a gold mine. You just don't care.
Yeah. I mean, there's no like Sims 5 anywhere soon, because Sims 4 is just DLC packs.
Yeah.
You could have done something great with the older Sims game.
Listen, depending on how good Inzoi does, Sims better step up their game on Sims 5.
Yeah, I hope Inzoi does something, because EA are far too careless with their IP.
Are they even making a Sims 5? I would assume that they would be, but God, Sims 4 came out, what, 10 years ago?
I mean, when they
that's what they said though. It's like there's no Sims 5, it's cancelled.
Is it?
Like, for the foreseeable future, there is no Sims 5.
That's because they're making bank. They're making bank on their DLCs.
Yeah, they're too busy making DLCs for Sims 4.
They are making absolute bank. I think somebody like on Reddit or something like cataloged every single thing that you buy from Sims, and it was like $30,000.
Oh yeah,
like $40,000 worth of shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's like, and tons of people are buying it, myself included.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well,
I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we all do it. Sims 1 and 2, I think, I feel like, especially the time that it came out, probably they wanted something to just stimulate. They probably wanted something to help with the lost sales for Dragon Age, I would guess.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of just threw it together.
The thing is, with like Sims as well, it was like the 25th anniversary, I think, or something like that. That's the reason why these came out. It's like, but like, there's not even effort in that. Like, you can't even celebrate our anniversary properly.
Yeah, I mean,
how can you make a buggy mess of a game that's 25 years old?
Yeah.
Come on, like.
What are you, Bethesda? Come on. Jeez. Well, I don't know. They did have like an earnings call or something like that. Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, said that Dragon Age Veilguard failed because people like live service games.
That's why I didn't like Dragon Age failing. And I know people will say they should have or it shouldn't have. Well, but this is what EA do. They'll be like, oh well, it failed because it wasn't live service, multiplayer, and they'll go on and do crap.
Well, a lot of people are giving him shit for that, but I have, of course, my own theory, and you got to think about it. This was earnings call. This is him not talking to us. This is him talking to investors, the people that give them money, and what he's saying is that he's not gonna say, oh, all of that money that you gave me to make this game the way it was failed miserably. So instead, it failed because it didn't have that live service aspect to it. If he were to tell them the truth, that it didn't resonate with players because it had a lot of stuff in it that didn't really need to be in an RPG, then they would be like, well, then why are we giving you money? What are we giving you money for?
I know, but that's just like an excuse for EA to cover themselves with live service. Meanwhile, Kingdom Deliverance is like, what was it, sold 1 million in a day?
It did. It sold 1 million on its first day. Yeah. People like single player role playing games. I mean, it's never not been disliked. But he's not talking to us. If he was talking to us, he would probably be like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it only took one YouTube video for me to figure out that this is why it failed. But if he's talking to investors, he's not going to tell them. He's not going to tell them that. He's going to tell them something that he's just going to tell them what they want to hear, not the fact that
because as well,
it's all the money that you gave us to put all this crap in it made it fail.
But because EA tried to make it a live service as well early in development.
Well, they did that.
They wanted it to be a live service.
At the height of the Destiny, everybody wanted their own Destiny. And then they made Anthem. Thank God for Anthem. It takes that one game for them to go, whoa, let's turn this boat. Yeah. This ship is going in the wrong waters. So yeah. But I don't know. That's just my take on it. I don't think he's that disillusioned. I don't think he's that disconnected from
I mean,
why
I
the
believe he
games
is,
fail.
but-
He looks at the numbers and he looks at the demographics and he looks at, people show him the stuff. Unless he's just got people around him that are just like, oh, don't tell him that. Tell him this, which is very possible. I don't know, but again, talking to investors. But speaking of which, we've got another studio that might be in trouble. And I hope not, but God, let me look this up because this is like used to be one of my favorite studios. They're making Wonder Woman. They're making a Wonder Woman game.
Oh yeah,
and Monolith.
the Wonder Woman game got pushed back, did it, or like rebooted or something?
I think they rebooted it. I think that it. I'm wondering if it was a live service game. I don't know how that would work with one, like Wonder Woman. But the studio's already dumped $100 million into it, and they just completely rebooted it. At the same time, we have the Batman game being made.
Yeah, Rocksteady are going back to Batman Arkham. That'll be like another 6 years.
We think that's still just a rumor, but we think. But that's nowhere near, nowhere near being ready. So this studio, I don't think a Wonder Woman game is going to get canceled. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's always possible, but this is something that somebody went in and looked at this game and went, nope. We're going to have to redo this. Warner Brothers has been up for sale more than once.
Yeah.
And so this is not looking great for them. I think they should make a Superman game. I really do. We've had 4 Batman games. They're all good. Which is great, but I mean, do we really want another Batman game? I know how that sounds, but I'm kind of tired of Batman, man. You're just saying it.
Yeah, I know.
There's like a movie every year. There's, they redo his comic like every 5 minutes, and
give Batman a rest, I guess. I think it's because Batman was set the stage for superhero games when Arkham games came out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was actually Spider-Man 2, but it was, just saying.
Yeah, but like these studios or the higher ups, they don't think as to what made it good. When it comes to entertainment. So a studio would be like, well, you made this before and people liked it, go make it again. They don't know what made it popular, why it was liked.
Well, especially because it's not the same studio.
Yeah, as opposed to like a live service or people just wanting some cash quickly. Yeah. They don't know why players like a certain thing. And they just thought Suicide Squad would work because it's Suicide Squad characters.
Yeah, I don't really know.
That's not enough.
I don't know what they were thinking.
Not enough just to have characters.
No, it's not. It's yeah, that was just another game that somebody should have went in and went, you are making a huge mistake with this. You can't do that. But David, what do you think? Batman or Superman? What would you like to see as the next game from
probably Superman.
Rocksteady?
I'm like you said, I'm done with Batman.
Yeah, I think he needs a
break. I mean, I also think that a lot of these studios a lot of these studios tend to like really hang on to IPs.
Oh yeah.
Because they're too afraid to try something new, like try a new idea. Because there's that risk of it failing. So it's like, well, if the game isn't good, it might still sell because it has that IP attached to it. Oh, it has a Superman logo to it. It has, whatever kind of logo. So they're just sort of banking on like, even if it fails, just because it says Batman, it's going to make some kind of quiche.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
It's sad because it makes the pool of games just boring. You know what I mean? It's like nothing. It gets invented that's creative or anything like that. So.
Yeah, you just summed up the state of AAA gaming right now. It's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's got said character or said thing in it, then they think it'll sell.
Yeah.
And that's not, you know.
I mean, it's okay to take like Batman and reinvent it, right? But
Batman
it's not
Beyond.
Batman's. No, but I mean, like, it's not Batman. It's a different game altogether. But maybe the character in it has some kind of abilities that are Batman-like, ninja-like, maybe. Batman is really sort of like a ninja, and he hides in the shadows. And now you take that idea of what Batman has, and then you create something different. Kind of like Power World. Power World is like Pokemon, but
With
different,
guns.
right? So
Yeah, I see what you're saying. They can
I
make.
mean, it's okay. It's okay to reinvent a couple of ideas.
They could do Batman
And try something.
Beyond in the future with the flying suit and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think so? I
Also,
don't know.
like Batman
I mean, I
has
guess
died
it's still Batman.
5 times in the games, in the comics. It's like, let him rest.
Yeah. Yeah. The game starts. He loses his parents in an alley.
Yeah.
Again.
Again, yeah.
I recently looked up the Superman Returns game that came on 360. Did you guys remember that? I went to YouTube and looked at some gameplay because it was exactly what I remember it to be. But it was I was one of the few people that actually liked this game, and I thought it just needed, like, if this game had just one more year, it would have been great. It was a movie tie-in game, and I think they shipped it too early, but you have all of Metropolis, and you can fly around Metropolis as Superman. And you hear people's like, oh my God, he's just... So then you like fly down into an alley and like save somebody from getting mugged. And then you stop a runaway school bus. I mean, you do Superman stuff. And then these robots show up and you have to fight them. And it was super janky and just not well implemented, but it did look good. And I think it had some really great ideas. But everybody's problem, and Liam and I talked about this last week, I think, is that, it's like, well, he can't be killed, so how do you fail a mission? It's like, well, you fail a mission by failing the mission. You don't do the mission, and, you have to start over or whatever. But
yeah, like people die. Oh, Superman let his family burn to the ground.
Right. Yeah. And you could constantly have situations where it's like, well, there's a school bus teetering off this bridge, but there's also this guy hanging from scaffolding. And then there's an asteroid like headed straight for Metropolis, all at the same time. What do you do? I always thought that would just be like infinitely fun gameplay tied into a story, and I don't know. I think somebody could do it, and I think somebody could do it good. I know it's probably hard to do. Batman's probably a little bit easier to make a game around because he's not super. He's just a person. With a lot of video game type mechanics, Batmobile, throwing, batarangs and stuff like that. But Superman's just like, uses his fist. So I would rather have
the
a
other
Superman
superhero game that we're supposed to be getting is
Iron
Captain
Man.
America.
Well, there's Captain America, and they're supposedly in development for an Iron Man game as well. Yeah, what happened to this Captain America game? This was announced like what, 4 years ago now?
Yeah, like was it Marvel 1943? Was it called?
Let's see.
I think they're too excited about Rivals and decided not to.
Captain America 19.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, you're right. It's Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Is that it? That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? Like, where did that go?
Says release projected this year. But it is using Unreal Engine 5, so expect 30 FPS on everything.
Let's see. Yeah, it was announced in 2021, so...
It's also developed by Skydance Interactive, who was what happened there? I think they were bought. Did they buy somebody, or they were bought by somebody? I don't remember.
No, Skydance bought I think it's Paramount actually.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
might have slowed down some things and some licensing or whatnot.
I know because I have a friend who got laid off because of that buyout.
Really? God,
Mm.
that sucks.
So, yeah.
Let's see.
But
Yep.
you know what? Now that I looked at the picture of that game, I think I saw the trailer. The cinematic looked really, really cool. It was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they had a good cinematic.
yeah, it was like Captain America fighting Black Panther, and then yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it looked really cool. It got me hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
but it's like Black Panther's grandfather? Yeah, I think it's his grandfather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
T'Challa or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it's 1943, and man, there was a 360 Captain America game that was basically Batman, an Arkham game, but it was Captain America, and that game was fun. It was again in like 1940. He was the first Avenger, 1940s Germany, just punching out Nazis left and right. Man, that game was a lot of fun. It got zero credit, but it ran great. It looked great. It played great. I think it was just in that time where everybody was, oohing on Call of Duty. But anyway, moving on. So hopefully this Wonder Woman game, I think Wonder Woman would be a fantastic game, video game character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
let's
Wonder Woman
hope they
kicks
can do
ass.
it right.
She does. It's
Yeah.
just lasso and she got a shield and all sorts of other shit.
And she's hot.
She's
Yeah,
well,
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, it's a modern game.
Bulletproof
She might be.
bracelets, just
She might be,
Yeah.
totally ugly. But anyway, yeah, I think that would be a good game. And Monolith, I like Monolith. They made the Lord of the Rings.
Well, they make Shadow
Awesome.
of Mordor, don't they?
Shadow of
Yeah.
Mordor, and they were the ones that Warner Brothers forced them to copyright
Nemesis
the
system.
Nemesis system. So
That's
this is
right.
going to be in the Wonder Woman game. They're going to use it the way they ought to because shit, they paid for it. But yeah, they also made previous games long ago called Blood, which was like a Doom clone, but it was like really creepy and oh man, that game is awesome. The sound effects in that game, people scream. The guys that scream when you set them on fire still haunt me. And then they did a game called Shogo, which was absolutely. They need to redo this game. So you play a cop in Japan in the future, and you're tracking down these killers. But you're also part of the Shogo mobile division. So you get in a mech, and then you're in the city and you fight these mechs like Japanese animation style. Man, it was so awesome. The sound effects and they just nailed everything. I've got this game. I cannot get it to run properly on modern hardware. They really haven't done any work to it. But man, I would love if they would just kind of buff that up a little bit. So anyway, moving on. Forza Horizon, or Horizon, if you're me, 5 is going to PlayStation. And they've also announced Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empire Mythology going to PlayStation 5 as well. So these are...
And 4.
What's that?
And 4 as well.
Going to PlayStation 4? Oh, wow,
Going
that's
to
cool.
PlayStation 5 as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's later in the year, though, when all the expansions are sort of out.
Yeah. I mean, this is not surprising to anybody. I think Forza Horizon 5 is a perfect game to go to PlayStation 5. We've talked about this before. They don't have anything like this on PlayStation, like zero. And everybody's starting to already compare it to Gran Turismo. Stop it. It's not a Gran Turismo game. That's Forza. Just Forza. Motorsport. This is Forza Horizon. It's get in a Ford Bronco and jump over people having a picnic. This is what this game is. So... and at least enjoy it now until the licensing for all the music goes out and they have to delist it. But
that's probably why they got like extended licenses for this Horizon, because however they get licenses, they're like, hey, if we port it to more systems, can we have extensions?
maybe, that gets really tricky. And I know David probably knows more about this than anything, but a lot of those older games sometimes get delisted or they have issues because. Like there's a song in it and it was from a band that doesn't exist anymore, that was published by a record company that doesn't exist anymore, and you can't get licensing to something that nobody technically owns. So then either you go in and you take that song out, or you just let it die.
Yeah.
So that's the
I remember
hard facts about licensing music.
there was a really cool feature in, and I know you can sort of do this now, but there was a really cool feature in the old Xbox where you can take a CD and
Oh yeah, rip
download
it.
the music into the Xbox, right?
Yeah,
The really cool thing was that wasn't the cool thing. The really cool thing was you play the music in the game, and it will play the song right when, let's say, if you're playing. I used to play a motorcycle game. I think it was Motorsport GP or something
hmm
by I can't remember who used to make it, but uh, it'd be like right when it's hitting like 3, 2, 1, the song that you downloaded into the
yeah.
Xbox
It
would
would
start
play it
playing.
like its own
And
playlist.
I would just get hype. I would always put heavy metal in there, so I
Yeah.
just get hype. Yeah, and I'd like, and you could do that now. You could play Spotify while the game is playing, but it's not as immersive as it used to be. It used to
No, it's
be
not
like,
tied to the hardware, right?
right, exactly, which
Yeah.
is like the best feature, because when something starts, you get that hype, um. So I mean, race car games are perfect for that because
Yeah.
if they have all these licensed songs from different artists and they put them at the start of your start, 3, 2, 1, start, and then the song starts, that's like a part of the game in a big way, you know? So, yeah, if the music licensings don't work out, I mean, you're losing a nice crucial part of that game, you
I
know?
want to I want to say that Sega GT did that on the original Xbox. It had
Mhm.
you had playlists, like you could pick your music or kind of like your mood, but then you
Yeah.
had yours, like whatever you had downloaded, it would just play that. And now it didn't really use any kind of launcher for it, like at the start of a race or something. It would just play the music like in the background, but
Yeah.
you could select your music as opposed to, you know, the
Yeah.
baked in stuff. So
And
yeah,
I mean, I don't know why this is something that is like, I don't know, just a dumb idea, but like, why don't I don't understand why big studios like this that have big games don't reach out to like an artist, like specifically, and say, we want you to write a song for our game that you can't get the song on Spotify. It's like that song is exclusive to our game.
yeah,
And when you hype this game up and you issue these trailers for these games, you can put in, I don't know, songs by Kanye West, songs by Dead Mouse, songs by, if they're perfect for the, Dead Mouse or who is it? Those two robotic guys that
Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. Like artists that are perfect for like that kind of genre, like
Yeah,
racing, and you have like a beat, you have a pulse, you have some really cool like melody going off in the background. Like just hire these artists and say, we want you to create a song that's exclusive for the game.
yeah, they do
That's
that
gonna
with
pull in,
soundtracks. And it's not even,
yeah,
and usually the soundtracks, it's like, yeah, you can have a song, and then they go, we got like 900 songs we haven't published, so just grab one, but still, that's a song that's not on anything else but that soundtrack, for that
right,
movie or whatever. They could totally
right.
do that with gaming, and they would own the license, and they wouldn't have to renew the license on it. They could just like sell them the song. Uh,
And you know what? Listen, man, people play video games. They'll play a level over and over and over and
yeah,
over again,
or a
and
racetrack. Yeah,
a song that they're not really crazy about, they will love that song after like 4 hours of playing the game.
yeah,
And there's people that like make games and make music for games.
Yeah, yeah,
And their
that
songs are
happens.
wildly popular now because it was in the game, not because somebody found it on Spotify. It's like, oh, this is a pretty cool. I
I'm,
remember finding this guy that made music for like old Sega CD, or not Sega Saturn racing games, like Rally X or some shit like that,
Yeah.
you know? And it was like, you know? And people listen to that shit.
Oh yeah, so like the 8-bit. Hell yeah.
You know, and they're like,
yeah.
remember this shit? Yeah, I love this shit, man. Yeah, I used to like do 90 listening to this, you
Oh,
know?
there's a guy on YouTube that does like 16-bit revision or revert. Is it a revision? Yeah. Well, versions
Yeah,
of like
16-bit
Sega
versions.
games. Right. He
Yeah.
he redoes them.
Like he'll
And
do
they
full
sound they were
albums.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Metallica,
listen.
full
Yep.
16-bit.
I've like
Megadeth.
listened to that way longer than I want to admit. So yeah, there's
I remember playing some old games. I think one of the songs that always stuck to me for some reason was Rob Zombie and Dracula.
Yeah.
And what was it on?
Oh, no, Dracula, Rob Zombie.
I don't remember that.
And it says moon.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but I would never listen to him otherwise. But that was in the game, and yeah, that stuck with me for so long. So yeah.
Oh, SSX
It's amazing
Tricky.
when you sort of have a soundtrack that matches this sort of game's vibe as well.
Yeah.
And you're just jamming to it.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, SSX Tricky was a gun that like that soundtrack was like perfect for that game.
Right.
And you would, and I even had like songs on it like you said I wouldn't normally listen to, but when that song came on, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting down this thing.
You're
It's
like,
the quickest shit.
I like
It's
this.
like, yeah, and again, that's licensed stuff that I don't think that, I doubt those were made specifically for the game, but
No.
yeah, but it's
No, like
important.
when-
Those things
when,
are very important. It's
Like, when Call of Duty like made its games as well, there was a couple of games that Eminem just made songs for Call of Duty. Like that was the purpose of the song. He
Really?
just collabed with Call of Duty. Yeah, with Call of Duty Ghosts, he made Survivor.
yeah.
He actually made that for Call of Duty.
You probably know this already, but on the Halo 2 soundtrack at the end credits, I forget the name of the track, but that's very somber music, you know, because they drop the ball on the ending. But there's a guitar playing in the background. It's uncredited, but it's John Mayer. And John Mayer went to Marty McDonald. He said, I really want to play on this. He said, but you can't credit me because I don't have permission from my record company. But I really want to play, because he's a huge Halo fan. And they were like, yeah, well, let me send you this track. And he played just some guitar over it, you know, and it fit perfectly. So he's on the Halo 2 soundtrack. He's just completely uncredited. So it makes me think, it's like, how many other people are on soundtracks that are uncredited because they love the game? Maroon 5 is also, they couldn't do their second album because they would go, oh, we got to take a smoke break. And they would go in the other room and play Halo. So I wonder how many of those people have put music in games without us actually knowing it.
Actually, you know, I don't know if you know this, but have you ever fought in Destiny? There's that the orb,
Probably.
that, you know, the glowy purple guy with the eye, and he's a boss.
Yeah.
In one of the levels in Russia or something like that, in one of the Russian ones.
Oh, you're talking about the first game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
I'll think of that later when
famous,
it's irrelevant.
I forget what it's called. But this guy in this band called Periphery, pretty famous metal band.
Yeah.
Loved the music in the background and played the metal version of it. And after I heard that track, not long after that, when I jumped on Destiny, I could have sworn that they took this guy's version of that song, and that version of the song gets played when you fight that boss.
You know, now that you say that, you know, they added that back into Destiny 2. So you could actually go do that same strike in Destiny 2. And the music's different. And I just thought just assumed that they wanted to just revamp it. I wonder if it's his track in the Destiny 2 version.
It's his track. He plays in a band called Periphery. His name's Misha. He plays guitar.
Oh, that's wow. That's really
when
cool.
When you fight I think his name is Sepix Prime or something.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
That.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really bothering me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no. When I remember playing, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Misha's track.
Yeah.
He got put in there, you know. So I mean, listen, there's musicians out there that love games.
Yeah,
They're
that
they're perfectly willing to write
man.
music for games.
Yeah,
You know?
it's music for games is extremely important. It's not so much for the game, but just really for the longevity. I mean, who can't hear like a track from Mario Brothers and just know exactly what level that is
Yeah.
and what you got to do on that level, or a track from Skyrim? It's like I know where you are when this track comes on.
Yeah.
It's man, music is super important for
Yeah.
games. But wow, we got off on a tangent, didn't we?
Yeah.
But
Just
what I
talk
was
about
gonna
music instead.
yeah, what I was gonna
Where
ask
were
is all these games, these three titles are going to PlayStation 5. What do we think is next? What do you think they're going to put next on PlayStation 5? I know Indiana Jones is already they're slated for spring, but I don't think it has a date yet. But
No. What's interesting about these titles as well, I don't know how Xbox is going to manage all the titles, but Forza makes sense, and so does the Age of Empires, because they have millions and millions of players already. Like Forza, Horizon 5 alone has had 40 million players.
yeah.
Why not increase that like to another 20 million?
Yeah, I think that they're strategically releasing these things because, again, like PlayStation doesn't have anything like Horizon 5 on there, and they don't have anything like Age of Empires or any of the Age of Empires games. So if you notice, like Avowed comes out like this week, and it's not slated for PlayStation 5 or not yet.
Yeah, I think it's a strategic way of getting popular franchises that are established,
Yeah.
get them to more players, grow some new titles, see how they perform, and then if like demand is there, if they get a lot of users, then they can port those over as well.
Yeah.
But like Forza's established, Age of Empires is established, Sea of Thieves was established as well. So all these big titles have got millions and millions of fans. Now they've got another system to sell it to.
Yeah. So you're thinking it's like Avowed, they don't need to put that on there because it's a single player game.
We don't know what Avowed's going to be like yet.
Yeah, it's not out yet. It's a single player game. It's not going to have people that are continuously playing it.
If it's a bus fire, then they won't need to port it, will they? Hope not. I hope it's not. I hope it's good.
Or just to put it really over there just to recoup some. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I hope it's good. I hope it's, I hope it's got that Obsidian magic. I hope it's a lot like Pillars of Eternity in storytelling and everything. And I really just hope that they don't make the mistake of putting in a bunch of modern political ideology that just really seems out of place in a role-playing game. But speaking of what's that?
Like to the next game, though, I would say Gears.
That's what I was gonna say. Gears.
If they actually do a remastered trilogy that people keep asking for, if that happens, put it on PlayStation.
Oh, absolutely. I've said that. I think that would be a good idea to have that introduction leading up to,
Yeah, because we don't know when E-Day is coming. Might be this year, might be next year, or maybe far off.
It's not going to be this year, I can tell you that. Might not be next year. I mean, with the way that they go, we got, a movie last year, so this E3-ish or whatever, it'll be completely vacant. There won't be anything about it at all. Zero. And then E3 next year in 2026 is when we'll get a gameplay reveal / story reveal slated for maybe the end of 2026. But my guess it's going to be a launch title for the next console. But yeah, maybe. I think that kind of redoing Gears of War with E-Day and possibly redoing Halo CE are good steps to start off putting those games on PlayStation 5 at launch. As multi-plat titles, because you're kind of starting over with the characters, you're starting over with the story, And I think that would be pretty smart. So unfortunately, those titles are, who knows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years away. If they had, excuse me, if they just did Gears 1, 2, and 3, redid them and then put them on, PC and PlayStation 5, I think that would be a really good introduction to the series.
Yeah, because PC wants it as well, because they don't have 2 or 3, do they?
2 or 3 is not on PC. You can't play it on PC. What the fuck, Microsoft? I mean, it's your own games. I mean, what the hell? That's just ridiculous. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Blood pressure's going up.
Yeah, I think it probably could be like a next game.
Yeah.
I can't think what else they have. Unless put like something like Flight Sim, maybe.
Sea of Thieves?
No, it's already on PlayStation 5.
Sea of Thieves is on there.
Already on. What
Yeah.
about Grounded?
Yep. They added it on the PlayStation.
But good picks. See, that's
yeah.
We're thinking of the live service type games.
Yeah, yeah, that's how you do live service. Yeah, Sony.
I think that once they put Indiana Jones on PlayStation 5, if it does well, they will put Avowed on PlayStation 5. I'm pretty sure. The Obsidian, I mean, they have experience with PlayStation. They put Pillars of Eternity on PlayStation, so they should be fine.
And then you got Outer Worlds as well, and
yeah, that was on
Outer Worlds
PlayStation
2.
Yeah, that's definitely going to PlayStation. Yeah, because that was a multiplayer to begin with. So, yeah, buckle up, people. It's don't get upset about this stuff. But one thing I noticed, I read this, and it kind of brings up a question, and I know it's kind of far fetched because I pull stuff out of the ether that probably shouldn't exist. Bandai Namco has reportedly reduced its Japanese workforce by over 100 people.
Oh.
Now, that's an odd way of saying layoffs, but I don't think that they're saying that's layoffs. I think that they're saying that they're reducing their workforce. They're actually shrinking their studio. And EA, of course, we know in the last couple of weeks, they've laid off all of the writers from Veilguard, and they're not hiring, and they've moved some people within EA to other things in EA. I'm sorry, from BioWare to NEA, and they're not coming back. That's their permanent status. If they want to come back to BioWare, then they're just going to have to apply for jobs that are at BioWare. So thus shrinking BioWare to only work on Mass Effect and focus on that. And what they're going to do with that is they'll probably hire new people, but they're going to hire as they need them and bring them in and build this studio with Mass Effect, going forward. Probably not as many. So again, shrinking that studio. Bungie, we're seeing that. Huge layoffs. Sony went in and did, cut some fat, moved some people from Bungie over to Sony. Again, probably permanently, not temporarily. So Bungie is shrinking as well. And EA has done some layoffs as well on its own. So my question is, to me, this looks like maybe these studios are learning how to be more functional and it's fluid, maybe, is what EA likes to use, to get things done with fewer people, thus keeping the cost down. It always blows my mind, and this is just my lack of knowing, but like when Spider-Man 1 cost, like $136 million to make. Huge success. The second one tripled in cost to make. Why? It is the same game. It's the same game. And you can't tell me that it's because it's on PlayStation 5. Bullshit. Why did it triple in cost? Why do games now cost so much to make? The only thing I can think of is that when you have a game and it's successful, what do? You ask for more money and you hire a bunch more people. And with that bunch more people, you're not getting things done more. Great English there.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
No, you're not getting the efficiency just because you have a bigger studio.
Exactly. It seems like you're losing the efficiency. So these games are taking longer to make. Why? Is it because you've got a bunch of people that half of them don't know what the other half is doing? I know I've watched interviews with like lower developers, and they say a lot of their frustration is like, you work on this thing, like something for art, something like for a character, and you work on this and you get it approved and everything's good and everything's ready to go, and you can like, okay, I got that dude, he's ready to go. Okay, I send it over to this department, and then a week later come back and go, now we scrap that whole character. Or we're going to redo this whole character. They're now female. And it's like, now I have to start from scratch and do this all over again. Why? Because nobody had the forethought to make those decisions beforehand, before they made that character. So now they're changing their mind later, and then because you got 14 people making one decision on one character, and you got 20 people making decisions on, where's that coffee cup going to go in that level. So I think this is a good thing. I think this is, hopefully these studios are learning how to be more efficient with less people. I know that's not great for the job force, but indie studios do this shit all the time. I mean...
Yeah, because if you have, like, say, for example, 300 people, that's, all those people got to sort of, make their... do their jobs, but it has to go through everyone, all these different steps.
You make one little change and it takes like a month to get approval for it because it's got to go through.
And then like maybe one half of the team wants this, the other half of the team wants that.
Yeah.
But then if you have like 80, 90 people, you can control it a lot more, control the people a lot more.
Yeah.
Say, look, we can be focused. What do we want to do?
Yeah.
So, it's like as a teacher, would you want like 10 people in a room or 50?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody still has to manage all these people and
well,
what they're doing.
I always like to use Bungie as an example and see what they're doing, and it seems to be kind of like a window to what the industry is doing. They've got less people now. Pete Parsons is gone, by the way. He's now with Sony. He failed upward. Obviously, he got a better job at Sony.
He failed upward.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. They spend all the money and crap on everything and don't do shit, and then somebody comes in and goes, oh, well, we're moving you over here and giving you a promotion. So let's see what they do with Marathon with less people and maybe hopefully more focus and or not. This is completely fail with it. I don't know. But I don't know. It's just something that I've when I saw that story, I started looking back at these other articles about all these other studios, and they're shrinking. I can tell you that, I used to see pictures of studios of the games I like to play, and for the most part, they were never over 20 people. And that's including marketing, HR, the people that write the checks, the money managers, and the developers, and the testers, and the creatives. I mean, they're all in that same studio, Look at Doom. Doom was made by like 4 people. I mean, there was like 6 people at the studio, but 4 people just sat down and made Doom. And, there you go. History's made.
Yeah. The old like saying, bigger isn't always better.
Right. That's what she said. So yeah.
I sort of wonder a little bit if we are headed for some kind of new way of hiring and firing, and how the workforce is going to go forward, like for video games in general. I know that Actors Guild sort of went through something, and the writers, people that write for TV and movies, they sort of went on strike, and they negotiated better contracts. I know that there are some video game unions out there.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of I think they're called Code. It's like organization for something.
Well, I think Activision went union, didn't they? Right after they were purchased by Microsoft.
Yeah. So I mean, I wonder. I wonder if all of this hiring and firing and hiring and firing kind of will lead to some, I don't know, hopefully to a revival of the industry in a way where it just makes it maybe more fluid for people to kind of like come in, work on a project, and go out and work on another project, and not so much get a job, get fired, and not really, and then work your ass off to try to get another job somewhere else.
Mm.
If there can be like a better way of a database where people can come in and come out and come in and come out.
Yeah.
So that people are just they're more or less working all the time and not and less time looking for something.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it also comes down to maybe one person a lot of times. I mean, look at
sure.
Uncharted. Amy Henning,
Yeah.
led that, and with Gears of War, you had Cliff Bleszinski, and there was an interview with a bunch of people from what is it, Sony Santa Monica, that did God of War, and they were talking about the God of War remake, and everybody just said, "Oh, well, all you got to do is go talk to Corey." It's like, "Oh, we wanted to do this, but we have to go talk to Corey." And Corey Barlog was the creative design, and he had a vision. He had the game. He knew what he wanted to do with this, and he was super focused on it. So when somebody would come up and go, "Hey, can he throw his hammer like this and do this?" He'd go, "No, that doesn't follow with A, B, and C or whatever." Or, "Hey, that's a great idea. Can we implement it? Yeah, let's do it." So it was always just like this one dude that like you could go to and say, "Hey, can we do this, this, and this?" And he'd say no, 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 or yes, yes, yes. And that game came out, pretty much bug free, very well done, high quality. Not my favorite game, but a lot of games that seem to be super successful and new franchises were all led by that one person. It comes down to that one person. Not that they do everything, but they just make yeah, exactly. It's like that director that's just like, this is, David Fincher. Do you think David Fincher has like 14 people he's got to ask if he can do, this and this and this too? No. The studio goes, how much is it going to cost? And he tells them, and he goes and does it. We need more of those people in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
We need more people that can make those decisions and know what they're doing and know how to make it good. When they made Jedi Fallen Order, Steven Stevensons, I can't remember his name. I think it's Swedish. He was the lead on that project at Respawn, and went to EA and talked to them about this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to make it. This is what's going to. And even Lucasfilm was like, no, you can't do that. He's like, well, yeah, we can. We can do it like this. And he convinced them to make this game about a Jedi and lightsabers and all that stuff when they didn't want to, and it was a huge success. He left after that, and then the second game I don't think was as good. Yeah, we need more people like that.
Yeah.
We need more Steven Spielbergs of the gaming industry, and less, 300 people going, all having their own idea about what this game should be.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, I think that will work for a show this week. And Avowed comes out next week. We're counting on this guy, man. Tell us if it's good or not, and how it comes out, and if it's okay. First, what are you going to buy it on? Is it PC or are you going to play it on both, PC or Xbox?
I mean, I want to play on Xbox first, see how that runs. Then I can always like hop between both, can't I now? So
yeah, you can. Let's play anywhere.
That's a good thing. So yeah, I want to see how it runs on Xbox. If it's well optimized, I'll see how it is on PC. I can get like a lot more frames on PC, things like that.
Oh yeah, you will. I can tell you that already.
It'll be interesting to play, and just want something new to play.
Yeah. Cool.
Not like I've already a backlog of stuff, but yeah, just give us something.
Oh man, I know. God, my backlog is well, I don't want to talk about it. I've still got games that I bought that I haven't even installed yet.
Yes.
Yeah, same.
So
That's bad.
but I got them on sale. That's like,
Yeah.
I just look at it like food, right? Like if you go to the store and you check out, right? You don't just like open it at the counter and eat it. You know, you take it home, you put it in the refrigerator, and you sometimes forget about it for a little bit. And then later you're like,
or it's like when you go to a buffet, you're like, I want all of it. Give me all of it.
Yeah, it's not a buffet. It's a grocery store. So you take it home and you put it in your freezer and, you know, forget about it.
I kind of liken it to you go into a gas station and they have like a bin of like old DVDs, and then you see a couple of them that are like, I remember that one. I really like that one. It's only $3. And then you buy it and you stick it in the cabinet and you never watch it.
Yep. Forget completely about it.
Like $20 on DVDs.
Yeah.
That you're not gonna watch.
And you're like, I don't have a DVD player.
Yeah. Have you ever had like we've gone out and had like, I don't know, a toasted sandwich or something, you know, while I was things you have in a restaurant, and you go, I could buy like a bread maker or a toaster for home. You bring it home, use it once, and then it's
that's it.
Never used again.
Yep. Oh yeah. It's like this takes way too much energy and time. I'm just gonna go buy a sandwich. Yep.
Exactly.
We have a cabinet of those things. For me, it was at one point it was coffee. I went from like using a French press, to a percolator, to and then going back to like just a regular coffee maker, and then we kept getting these coffee makers that tasted like plastic. Like you make coffee in it and it tastes like plastic. It tastes like burnt plastic. And we couldn't find one that we like. So that's when I bought the percolator, because it's all metal. And man, it is a pain in the ass to make coffee in a percolator.
And it's noisy.
It is a little plop, 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 plop. Yep, but it stays hot. Man, you pour it. I mean, it's in there. And then we've eventually got one that worked great, and we've had it for, I don't know, 10 years now or whatever. But yeah, it was like a huge. We had a Keurig, and if you don't know this, but if you're pouring super hot water through a plastic container, through coffee that you can't see, and I started to think about that after a while. It's like it everything tells me not to heat plastic in water.
Yeah.
But I'll do it every morning. And isn't that like a huge carcinogen? I don't know, but also people were like opening these things up and showing like mold in the coffee and stuff, and like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm drinking. So we got rid of that thing and went with just a good Bun coffee maker, and that has been ours for about 10 years. So, but yeah, I get that. Yep. All the percolator's still in the attic, I think. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why he's just throwing it away. I don't know. But anyway. All right. Well, that's our coffee show for the week. So yeah, we'll be back with more coffee talk next week. So yeah, you're gonna let us how about is if I'm gonna look and see how much it is to play it. Or no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I said I wasn't.
We just went through this.
I know.
The bargain bin. Don't buy it.
We almost pulled him to the dark side. Come on.
Well, I got so angry at that dipshit that I was like, I'm not giving him a penny. I'm not playing this game. I'm not. It's an open world RPG. It's like my favorite type of game ever. So let us know how it is, and I'll just wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's on Game Pass, so I can wait to play it free. All right.
We'll be a lot to talk about next week.
All right.
Yeah, cool. Oh, maybe Sony will have their little thing this week, and we can talk about that.
Oh yeah. It's funny because all the rumored games are sort of getting announced, and Sony haven't even announced anything yet. It's like,
do they have anything to announce? I think
this game might come out, and that game might come out. It's like Sony's like. I
think they've given up on the PS5. I think it's done. I'm not saying that to be hateful or anything. I'm not saying that. I think it
What do
looks
you
to
mean?
me. I think they're done. I think they're just going to focus full blast on the PS6. They're going to push games to the PS. If anything's like being worked on right now, they're pushing it to the PS6. It's not going to be a PS5 release. They're done with it.
I mean, even if they put like, even if they said, "Hey, we want to focus on PS6," PS5 still.
They're
have
not
years
going to
of
say
cross-gen
that.
titles.
They're not going to say that to anybody.
Well, no, they're not going to say it. But even if there was the case, PlayStation 4 still had cross-gen titles even when PS5 was out. So even if that was the case and they want to focus on PS6,
But they don't have to do that.
games still have to be on PS5.
No, they don't.
Maybe.
Nope.
I mean, they don't have to be.
They don't. Here's why. Because it's going to have something in it, just like the PS3. It's going to have some super duper tech in it that's not going to. And Mark Kearney's going to come out here and go, it's not going to be available on the PS5 because of our new numerology, processor or something. And they're going to go, and all these new games are going to go to PS6. And right now, PS5, if you own a PS5 and that's the only thing you own, you might want to consider getting a PC, because I don't think there's really going to be much like big titles that are going to come out on the PS5. If they do, they're going to be remakes. Mark my word. Mark my word. I have spoken.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right, we'll see how that
I'm
goes.
serious. I think they're done. I think they went in and they canceled a bunch of shit, and they're like, "What are we doing? We need to restructure this. We need to move to the future. We need to, fuck this thing. We're going full blast on the PS6. We need to get it out at the same time as the Microsoft's, new whatever, because we don't want them to get any kind of foothold as far as hardware."
Yeah.
So I think they're done. So, episode 43. I said it here. It's February 10th. We'll see somebody like a week from now.
We'll see how it goes.
Like IGN will be like, I think PlayStation's giving up on the PS5. Stealing my stories. But anyway, we could talk about that next week. We can also talk about their outage they had. That was like a 24-hour outage.
Yeah, that's right.
Consoles are a scam. So, and let's hope that they have their little shindig so we can take a look at them. I hope they show good stuff. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they are about to show like the best shit ever for PlayStation going in this year and next year. But I'm just not very.
I mean, they won't be showing that, but
who knows? They need to show. They got to do something right now. Everybody that owns a PlayStation is pointing a stick at them and going, "Do something, do something." I mean, it's not fair for them, pay that money. So anyway, all right, we'll be next week with more engaging conversations, less coughing and sneezing. Hopefully, David, don't get sick.
I'll try.
Okay. It's a requirement.
I'll stay here in the hacker den.
Don't get a virus.
Right, literally. All right, guys. See you next week.
Yeah.